What's up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. It's Ali of Where's Ali, your favorite eccentric slow man. And today, y'all, I thought I'd go live with someone I picked up in, she was in the alley sitting by herself and she didn't have any friends. I'm lying. She was crying. She was crying. And I was like, I can't leave this poor child by herself. But no, this is the title is how did we end up living together? She's from Brazil. Of course, I'm a global citizen. I'm from around the world. I know people want me to say America, but you know, we both from America.
Yeah, different Americas, but
Different
America.
Americas, but America. Maybe we'll get into that, but not today. And so we just wanted to just jump on here and chat. She's going to share all of her information, but I wanted you guys to meet someone else that I have met here on the road because you guys ask me a lot about friends or people. I've had someone say, Ali, you're always by yourself. You don't have any friends. You're lonely. I
Yeah,
literally,
people think like, oh, are you alone?
yeah,
Never,
I
ever.
literally, not every day. I mean, well, we live together, so we don't have a choice but to see each other every day. But a lot of times I'm in the company with other people. So we wanted to be able to share with you guys our experience. And y'all, I'm going back to my radio days. I'm going to pull out my program manager, radio interviewer hat and put that on. And we're going to chat a little bit because I want you guys to just hear about her experience. Her name is Luci. She goes by Lucy, but it's Lucienne.
Luciane.
Lucienne.
Yeah. It's easier to say Lucy. People
Yeah.
understand and it sounds more
Yeah.
nickname and
A
familiar.
nickname, yes, nickname. I'm Ali. Y'all don't know my full name, but we just gonna go with Ali. But if you guys are brand new to my channel, first of all, thank you. Actually,
Subscribe.
hold on. This isn't smart because then I can't see what they say. Uno momento. I need to flip the screen and turn it around.
Yeah. Now we can see.
I put it like I was recording
Yeah.
a video, a regular video. Sorry, it's a little slanted because the phone is heavy, but we're gonna chat. We're gonna have snacks. What's up, Brian? Please say hello. What up, Brian? What's up? Okay, let's make sure we're both in the frame. They can see both of us. Hey, Nikki. Thank you. All right.
Hello.
I'm gonna scooch in. What's up? Okay. All right, you guys. Let me see if it'll let me switch to vertical.
Oh yeah. So
Orientation is
they need to choose. Yeah,
it's locked.
better.
Okay.
And also the light. It's just like.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can't fix that.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry, y'all. Y'all, every time I go live, every time I want to watch cartoons, the phone messes. There's something I have to set up. So this is going to be a little bit better. What's up? Welcome back to my channel, you guys. If you're just joining, please let me know where you're watching from. We're going to be just chatting. Delete you. Goodbye, good riddance. So we're gonna do a little bit of maintenance, but we're also gonna have a little fun. We're having some snacks. Actually, we're having coffee
What is the name
and
of this?
this burek.
It's burak. Yeah.
Spinach and cheese burek. Oh, this is
You
yours.
come to Turkey, you're gonna have these, guys.
Yeah, it's good.
It's good. Everywhere in Turkey is this. Traditionally is with meat, but people just made this more gourmet.
Yeah.
And they put whatever they want. But traditionally is with meat.
What? Are you really from Antarctica? And your name is Penguin. Wait, are you a puffin or a penguin? All right, y'all. We need to get to this. She's got something to do in about 40 minutes. So we're gonna get through this. I want you guys to meet her. Like I said, this is Lucienne.
But you can call me Lucy.
And she goes by Lucy. So we're gonna chat. What's up, everybody? All right. So like I said, we found each other, but we're gonna talk a little bit about that in a moment. So Lucy, tell everybody who you are.
Well, apart from my name, I'm from Brazil, America as well, but another America. I've been traveling the Europe. I cannot say the word yet, but Europe for 9 months. It's been 9 months, so I've been to 25 countries. I'm an English teacher for Brazilian So it's really nice to be here with other people around the world. But I'm graduated in logistics. Actually, I think this you don't know. I have a career transition, and yeah, it's been 10 years since I teach English, and 9 months since I decided to do this everywhere.
Yeah, yeah. So this is how this happens. She said she's from Brazil. Did you say what city?
As it's Santos, which is the coast of São Paulo, the biggest city.
And you're what? How many? You said 20, 30 minutes from the coast, from or from
No,
from São Paulo.
yeah, from São Paulo is 1 hour, but my city is beach city, so 500,000 people more or less. Yeah, and the capital, São Paulo, is 1 hour, an hour and a half from my city.
Okay.
São Paulo is 12 million people.
Yeah.
Almost like here in Istanbul. Istanbul is really crazy and reminds me of São Paulo.
And
Brazil, Neymar, everything. It's like
everything. Yeah. And her mother tongue is Portuguese.
Portuguese, yeah.
I say Portuguese.
It's like
I don't know.
Spanish or Italian, right? Buenos dias, bom dia.
You guys hear me talk about Portuguese a lot in my videos, and back in the
Really?
day,
Do you speak?
well, I don't speak it.
No,
I
but do you
say
say about-
obrigado.
Oh, okay.
I was just in Cabo Verde, and they speak Portuguese and French and a little bit of English. But anyway, y'all know I used to go to Portugal all the time, and I could never get the language. And I used to say it sounds like pig Latin to me. That's why she doesn't get offended, because she knows, we good people, right? So we're learning and all of that together. So you guys got a little bit of background on Luci. So do you care to share your age? Because I think it's kind of important. Y'all know how old I am or how young I am.
Come on, you
How
are 20.
young? I'm 20. That means she's 11 or 2. So share with our viewers how young you are.
I'm 31.
She's 31 years old. Okay, so this is really important for you guys to really hear her story and how she ended up here. I got some notes because y'all know I get off track. I'm trying to stay on track, and I'm gonna read you guys comments later. Brian asked, what age group do you, well, we haven't gotten there. We'll get there, Brian. Hold on, Brian. Hold that thought. Okay, so I want you to talk a little bit more about what you do. Not necessarily what you do. Well, yeah, talk about what you do as a profession, but also I want to talk about your business as well.
Okay, yeah. So, yes, as I told you, I teach English been 10 years. But I also am a content producer, so I have a YouTube channel. So I also teach people about productivity, routine, discipline. This year I started mentoring people about those aspects. Also, I share my travel experiences with people that. For us, it's not like a business, right? Traveling is a business. People don't know this, but it's a lot of work traveling.
Yes.
So I feel like a job. For me, it's my second job is to plan my trips.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
You need to consider this as a job.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, you won't take seriously.
Right. Yeah. And then you also have associated with your YouTube channel a separate business.
Yeah. Yeah, because my intention also is to teach people that know English how they can teach other people, how they can make money with their knowledge. I think this would be the correct thing to say. Everyone can teach if they know how to do it. You guys that, I want to travel the world, but I don't have money. Have you ever considered about teaching? So this is one point. We always can make money.
Yeah.
Sometimes, I don't travel because I don't have money. But you have a knowledge that you are not being paid for your knowledge. So think about it.
That's a great tip, and I think it's one of those things that we talk about sometimes is how do you take something that you do naturally and turn it into revenue generating.
Your talents transform.
She's turned that into revenue generating. And so let's talk about a little bit. So you've been traveling now for almost 9 months. And first of all, how did you, because the whole point of not just her teaching English, but I think the focus is teaching people so that it prepares them for those who want to travel, to be able to get out into this world and travel a little bit more and feel confident in doing so, right? And so, why did you decide? So you did this 9 months. You've been teaching English
Yeah,
for
I
a
was doing
minute.
it from my apartment, and then I said, okay, what is the difference? This is, I think, what people should consider. What is the difference from you that is in your home and from us that we are here in an apartment?
Yep. Yep.
The only difference is that when it finishes, we are going to enjoy a new city.
Exactly.
The only difference is that when my job is done, I am in a different neighborhood, I am in a different culture, but my job is the same. My activities, what I have to do during my day is the same. So it happened to me one day. I was doing this by myself from my apartment. I said, okay, why should I stay stuck in the city, in the apartment? You know, although in my home city, I used to do this, to work from cafe. I used to have this kind of lifestyle when I was in my home city, and I just transferred this to anywhere else.
To anywhere else. And like just and so how, because you talked about this before, the preparedness. You decided to take this leap and go out on the road, and you decided to go for 9 months. So
Yes.
if you decided for 9 months, there were some things that you did to prepare, to start to prepare for this journey. What are some of the things that you
Yes.
took into account?
Yeah, so this happened to me one day, like, oh, I cannot do this everywhere. And then I started following people that does the same thing, which is how you follow Ellie. So I think we need to have mentors. It can be like online mentors and any kind of mentors to guide us. Because sometimes we don't have a reference. We think that, oh, maybe it's a good idea, but if you talk to someone, for example, she's been traveling for 4 years. I'm learning a lot with her, 9 months, 4 years. And you guys that is just starting, so then you have her as your mentor. It's crucial. So I had this, I started following a Brazilian girl that also has been traveling for 4 years, I guess. And then I started discovering, okay, this is possible. She's also Brazilian, she also does this, how does she do? And this is one point, like following people. The second point, I would say, is to know yourself. So living by myself in my apartment for the past 3 years prepared me for the world. I mean, to cook by myself, to cook my own meal, to do my own exercises. Because if I was only dependent on going on the gym in a place, if I didn't have the place, how could I keep my routine? The point is, I start preparing my mind first. We need to prepare, guys, our mind. Our mind is everything. Sometimes you are concerned about money. Oh, I don't travel the world because I don't have money. Money is a thing, of course. You cannot go out to your house without money. But your mind is the first thing. Your mind is crucial. I mean, because it's a lot of emotions. We were talking this yesterday. Like, I wouldn't imagine how it would be if I didn't have this mental preparation. You know, in some minutes from now, I'm going through therapy sessions, and I keep doing this. It's not only, oh, you prepare and then you go on road and you don't need this anymore. I keep doing therapy sessions. I keep making my meditation practice. So this is important.
Yeah.
Mental preparation, it was crucial for me. And to know what is my lifestyle. You know, what I like.
Yeah.
What I feel myself. So I like to go to some cafes. I like to have different restaurants. Okay, for me it's not important to go out every single weekend. And it was not important in my hometown. So this is not part of my lifestyle. But for me it's important open air places. So when I book hostels, I always book hostels with green places, with open airs, because I know that I feel myself more comfortable in those places. So, and this is crucial, because sometimes you don't know, and sometimes you are in your dream, but you are unhappy in your dream.
Yeah, so she's talking about hostels. Let's talk about that a little bit. So that's actually how we met. So y'all know, those who follow me regularly know I don't typically do hostels, but when I do, like I did a co-living in Rhodes, Greece in January to mid-February. And it wasn't a hostel, it was hotel living, but all of us were connected in the hotel because it was a co-living, co-working, off-season type of setup, which is really awesome. But one of the things that I've learned moving around different countries here in Europe, Balkans included, and East Europe, and like we're East Europe and Asia, y'all know that Turkey sits in two continents.
Yeah.
So literally, we jumped from Europe to Asia. From, you know what I'm saying, by a ferry or a what you call those things, a metro. Anyway, I'm gonna get back on track. So, anyway, one of the other reasons I will stay in a hostel is if they have private rooms, because a lot of the hostels around the world, I don't know if this is a big thing in the US, but they have the dorm style rooms, but then they also have private rooms.
Yeah.
And so I look for a private room with a private bathroom because I'm past the point of sharing bathrooms with people that I just don't know, like a whole bunch of random people. I learned my lesson in Singapore.
But you try it. That's the
I
point.
did. I
You,
did.
you know that you don't like because you try it first.
Actually, yeah, I've done it like 3 times.
You
So
know,
one
this is
incident didn't
self-knowledge.
work, and then the next one I booked in Singapore, because Singapore is pretty expensive, was perfect. Shared everything, but it was so perfect. So anyway, one of the things I look for is the reason I sometimes pick hostels in places where the cost is more than I was budgeting for, especially if it's a shorter trip. And this is not where I allocated, because you were talking about budgeting and what things you do need and don't need. Well, we all need to eat. And because of my the way that I dine, I do like to prepare my own food. So I like a hostel if they have a kitchen. And so the one that I was at said that they had a kitchen. We talk about the kitchen another time because it was a little
Let me
defeating. It wasn't really a kitchen, but anyway, that's how I ended up there. But I ended up going because they also had apartments,
Yeah.
and so I
That
ended
could
up booking, yeah, some of the best apartments that I've seen for a really good price. So I ended up booking a full apartment with a full kitchen, and we ended up meeting. I was sitting downstairs in the open like lounge cafe area, and Lucy walked in and just sat at the table. She had just checked in, and we ended up talking for, it was probably maybe 15 minutes. She went to grab food, I went upstairs. We didn't connect, we didn't share numbers, we didn't anything. And I stayed that was the extra night. And then the next day I was deciding I was going to check out. I hadn't figured out where I was going. She was downstairs with all of her bags trying to figure out where she was going. And then we just were like, hey, you want a room together? And so let's talk about energy. You know,
We have an expression for this in Portuguese. We are talking about expressions. Actually, guys, if you know some English expressions, pop up
Type
here
them.
because we are sharing expressions. And
Yeah.
this is also a way for learning each other's culture because culture comes with expressions. The expression in Portuguese is o santo bateu, which means that, you know, we immediately have the same energy. The energy crashes in a good way, in a positive way. So yeah, this is important. Sometimes you think, oh, how I'm gonna make friends when I travel? Energy connects.
Yeah.
Energy connects.
Yeah.
There is no explanation. You
Yeah.
know. And that day that I met you for the second time, it was funny because I woke up earlier that day because I was decided to check out. So I went for 4 hostels to check another place because I didn't know where to sleep, and I was so frustrated. Literally almost cried. Because I couldn't find the one that I like, the way that I like it with kitchen. For me, kitchen is important because I cook my own meal to be safe and to save money. And then I didn't find. I walked back to the hostel. I said, okay, let's sit here and see what happens. And then she appeared.
Just like that.
And then I remember that she said about the apartment, that it was a good apartment. So maybe they have another apartment that we can share. And this was what happened. You know?
Yeah.
And they only had 2 availabilities, two nights, which was good because they only had 2 nights and it was the testing period for both of us.
Yep. Yep, to see if this is, do we go any further? Do we pack up our bags and go our separate ways,
Exactly. I think it was really good for they have only 2 nights because if things didn't work for some reason, we at least had an excuse.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
they don't have more nights.
Right, we didn't
Let's
pay too much in
separate.
advance. It worked
Yeah,
out.
yeah.
And that's the other thing, overcommitting sometimes. This is something that happens a lot in just regular life, but it also happens in the life that we live as travelers. I told you guys there's a video a couple days or a week ago where I basically booked for a week, which doesn't seem like a long time, but I ended up losing $225 because the place was not representative of what they said. There was a hole in the floor. And when I say hole, I don't mean like a pinhole. I mean like your whole body could fall through hole. And so, but I wasn't able to get my money back. And so now it's nice to do, I don't like to do 1 or 2 days, but when you're in places where it might be customary for there to be some, maybe not so great things happening, if you can do 1 or 2 days, you're not overcommitting yourself. Now you're not forced to stay somewhere. You're not losing extra money. And I was a little uneasy about any long-term commitments until I found something that really worked. And so us also sharing an apartment decreased the cost because, like I said in the beginning, this Istanbul ended up being quite a bit more
We are
expensive.
surprised with this. I mean, it's not the most expensive country in Europe. There are other countries more expensive than here. But, when you talk about Scotland, when you talk about Switzerland, you expect this be pricey. The problem about Istanbul is that we don't expect. It's
Right.
the frustration about the expectations met.
Yeah. Yeah. And then what you get for it. And so it was kind of frustrating because, you're here, I've got 90 days. She knew she was staying for 2 weeks. And, I think I had another month and a half left that I could stay, but you kind of start to look, and this is part of the planning. Does this fit what I wanted to do? I don't want to necessarily stay and overcommit myself. And renting short term keeps the door open for us to make other decisions and move along.
And be able to change idea. For example, I booked 10 days in the other hostel, but I do well with hostels. I think this is one point that we just didn't conclude about the point.
Oh, yes.
I do well with hostels. I don't have any problem. By now, my age, maybe in a long term, I can figure out that this is not good. Also, for my budget at the moment, this is better. Okay, I think everything in life it's about in which moment of life you are, and of course if you do well the things or not. So for me it's okay, but I need to have some minimum standards, which is cleaning and internet stability. So, and when I mean cleaning, I don't mean like super tight and neat, but minimal conditions, and this is cultural. I discovered here what is cleaning for me might not be clean for the other.
Yes.
And it was really embarrassing situation because I needed to say to the guy that, oh, I needed to check out because it was not clean. But for him, it was clean.
It was okay. Yes.
But okay, and this is one important thing that you need to have in mind, guys. Because if you don't feel comfortable just because you pay it, don't force yourself to be on the place.
Yeah.
You are free. Remember this, you are free. So immediately I called booking.com, which is also good, a tip for you. Keep it booking from one platform because I have Genius 3, so I have the premium support. So I called them and I explained it. It didn't match at least my minimum standards. The pictures that they posted was not the same pictures that is the same in the reality. So they talked to the place and they would give me my money back. And it ends up that we used the money with the apartment, but they would give my money back. So don't think, oh, I pay it, so now I need to stay. Because there are people that think like this. I pay it, so I need to support. No, you don't need to. You are free to go.
Right.
Remember that you are free to go.
Right. She had a good experience with getting her money back. I had the absolute opposite experience getting mine, and I was through Expedia.
But you were free to go at
I didn't have any stress about it. I just was like, I had my bags and I went and I just found something else. Luckily, there's lots of places to rent from, and I will actually list the places in the description too, so you guys are aware of which ones we suggest and what we don't suggest. But yes, like Lucy's saying, when you travel, that's one of the things is first understanding that there's freedom is has different levels to it and different meanings for different people, but we all have choice. I think that's one of the
Yeah.
words we want to say too is we have choice.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's what she's talking about when she's saying mindset. It's not, oh, I want to go, so I'm deciding to go. Sometimes the mindset is understanding what you can control and what you can't, and then putting yourself in position so you can control. So it might not be comfortable to book a month, or it might not be comfortable to book 1 or 2 days. You really want to book a month because you want to stay somewhere and sit. But what happens if you book a month and you get a trash place, or it doesn't exist and now you've given all your money, or you go somewhere and you test it for 2 days and you're like, this doesn't work, like Wi-Fi wasn't working. Where she was, because we were in the same building, but because she was using hostel facilities, her Wi-Fi was worse. When I was in the apartment, it was great. And it's because of the allocation and the number of people and all of that was just much better. And so you have an opportunity to test out the waters and that kind of thing. So that's the freedom, the choice that we're talking about.
And the importance of preparation money wise as well, because even though you pay for the month, it's always a risk. Okay,
Yeah.
going on road is a risk, but staying on where you are not happy is also a risk.
Oh, that's such a good point. That's such a good point.
Because it's a risk, and although if you don't have money, you need to have at least 3 months saved. I am now in the end of my Europe experience. I'm going back to Brazil because I have a surgery to make. But I had 3 months saved if something happened. Thank you God, nothing happened till now, and it won't happen. But if those kind of things happen, or I lose money with the apartment, okay, money you make, but experience, it's better you go, and after you figure out how to make more money, then stay in a place that you don't like.
Yeah.
That you don't imagine living 20 days alive, a place that you don't want to be. It can end your experience.
Yeah. Yeah.
Forever.
Yeah.
Just because you don't want to lose money.
Right. Money is a big driver. So I know you've got some things going on. I want to just let people kind of understand we're similar travelers in that we're backpackers, but I am carrying a load more than you are. And there's a reason. You knew you were going for 9 months and you were going back to Brazil.
Yeah.
People, you guys know me, I am full time. So everything I have is technically what I have. If I can swap up some things. So I'm literally carrying a lot. How much luggage are you, or backpacking? How much stuff are you carrying around?
20 kilos, but I'm trying to figure out how to make it half of it.
But it's 20 kilos in 2 bags.
Yes, I have one 40 liters backpack and a carry-on 10 kilos.
Yeah. So, and that 10 kilos you just picked up, right? That's something you got along the way, but it's got souvenirs and stuff in it. Or
No.
Oh.
I left Brazil with the 2 of them.
Oh, you had to 2.
The
Okay.
2 of them. But I made 1 month test in Italy with just the backpack, which suited me well. But it was not snowing. I think the problem about is how different weathers and seasons are you going to take.
Yeah.
Because in your case, you got like super cold or hot or summer. So
Yeah,
we
so
never
you
know.
acquire a lot, and well, I think we're gonna have multiple videos because there's so much that we can branch off and talk about, and just because we really haven't gotten into some of the cultural things. I think you guys can kind of hear some of the things that Lucy's talking about, and then some of the things that I share or have shared before. And there's slight little differences, and I want to be able to point some of those out because we do exist in this great big world together, but we do have slight differences that make us unique or make us different, but also those are the beauty of meeting other people. I do want to read one of the comments because I want you guys to stay. I love that you guys are sharing.
Yeah.
Brian, you mentioned, thank you for commenting. I love traveling. I got to meet a lot of great people and learned a lot of new things. Wish I could travel again. Brian, if you don't mind sharing where you've been in the world, we love to see if we've kind of crossed the same sidewalks are
Yeah,
not in our
and
world.
have the same experience or not.
Exactly. So, talking about how much stuff you were packing, that was part of planning too. You kind of had an idea of where you wanted to go, but talk a little bit about your journey in the 9 months. Was everything scripted out, or did you kind of almost go with the flow? You ended up someplace and you decided, oh, I'm going to go to this place, or something changed, so you stayed less time or longer. How did that work out for you?
I was already a person who had lots of fears, but I never really. But some people look at me, oh, you seem so courageous. I am, but I'm also have lots of fears. So, but the fears doesn't stop me. But I'm saying this because I had everything spreadsheet, everything, and what happened? It made me feel more stressed. So as more I planned, more stressed I got. So I remember the last week before I left Brazil, I was almost going through a burnout. If I spend one more week, or literally only one more week in Brazil, I wouldn't be here now. Because I was so stressed with everything be perfect, everything be so, because perfect is also something that I learned a lot during these 9 months. I don't have this issue anymore. I don't drive for this for perfection, but I use it to be like this. So I have everything perfect. What happens during these 9 months? Many things went out of planet. Many countries that I wish I would visit, I didn't. I changed my mind many times because I put the idea that, oh, I want to be 30 countries, 30 years. Why? You're gonna die after 30 years? Once I realized it, and my birthday is in January. So when I turned 31, that I discovered that I didn't die with 30. I just discovered, thank you God, I have more years to live. So then I said, okay, slow down, girl. Why you need to have this, target and things to show up? No, are you just counting and checking, or are you really experiencing? So what ended up was my first 4 months. I changed it weekly country, not city, country. Imagine every week you are in a different country with a different customs, with different currents, with different everything.
Different language, all of
It was
that.
so tiring. And then, so it started in August. In November, it happened to me a really crucial moment in my journey. I started not being happy. I remember this. I was in Budapest. Budapest is beautiful. It's amazing. It's just fantastic. But I remember I was there, surrounding of all this beauty, and I was not feeling happy. I was in my dream, and I was not feeling happy. And then I remembered that I had a call with my friend, and I said, I don't know what is happening. I always dreamed with this, but it makes me, I don't know, I cannot enjoy. And she said, maybe you need to slow down. And then I start reflecting about this because, yes, of course, I was not happy because I was not really enjoying. Because I remember one day, it was in this city, I arrived in the airport and I started like heart beating. I don't want to be here. I don't want to be. Why? Because every week I needed to go to an airport. And what was an exception become my routine, So then what I did is I took 2 months in Barcelona to spend the winter, the Christmas and New Year. And this was not my plan. My plan was not to stay 2 months. My plan was not to stay even in Barcelona. But it was crucial to have 2 months sit and go raise in my mind this idea about 30 years, 30 or something like that. Oh, it was so light.
Yeah.
So light, why? Okay, then when the year goes back, now I'm traveling a little bit fast again because I'm going back to Brazil. But I'm really open to, okay, I want to stay in this country. I'm tired. I'm not. So I learned how to listen my intuition. I learned how to listen my heart. I don't want to be in a place just to post on Instagram. As unconsciously I wanted in the past. Unconsciously I wanted. Maybe my ego, Oh, I've traveled 30 countries. Maybe it's a ego. Now I don't want anymore this. I always ask for me, are you happy, Lucy? This is what you want to, Lucy. So I arrive in a place and say, okay, do you want to stay more or do you want to go? So I learned to learn with myself and to ask myself the correct questions. So I don't rush anymore. Sometimes I can change weekly. And I changed. In March, I changed weekly, but I didn't feel the same sensation.
Yeah.
Because I changed weekly and I could keep my routine, and I was always open to change. I was not obliged because I was stuck in a goal, in a target
Yeah.
about just check.
Yeah.
Not anymore.
Yeah. And I'm just letting you flow because you're hitting so many good points that I think it's great for the audience to actually hear from someone. You guys don't see other people on my channel a lot, and so it's really refreshing to actually meet someone who we have similar just quests in life, but just our walkability. We're just on the same path. We're not going the same direction, but we're on the same path, and that's how we align. But just for you guys to hear someone else saying some of the things that I've alluded to, but how they impacted you and how you got to the point of that discovery, and we're two different places in our journey, but ultimately we do live by very similar, I don't want to say guidelines because they're not really guidelines. It's really, the heart, but also your logic leading you, but allowing you to have some bandwidth to be as free as you can be, or have autonomy to.
Anyway.
Okay, say it again. In November.
And to deal with different with negative feelings.
Yes.
Because at this moment in November, when I started not feeling well and comfortable, I started blaming myself, because I started thinking, I am complaining about traveling because it's the dream of everybody.
Yes.
So I start feeling guilt about being complaining about something that I wanted and something that many people want.
Yeah.
So it was like, am I being, I'm not valorizing? But no, you can feel these feelings.
Yeah.
You will feel, you know. Know that during your journey, you're gonna feel lots of feelings.
Yeah.
Lots. The scale of emotions, you're gonna discover all.
Yeah, a whole bunch, all at one time.
Bunch.
Yeah, and
And allow yourself to pass through these emotions. Allow yourself. I think this is important. Sometimes we want to hide it. Oh no, I'm superpower. I'm a traveler. I travel the world. I don't feel anything. Come on, you're still being human.
Yeah, and I think those are like key points, because they mimic what we call regular life. But for me, this is regular life. This is normal for me. Whereas it's really to show that normal is what you define normal to be. Regular life is what you define it to be. And so the way that we choose to live is really no different than how I lived the previous 48 years. I just had different stresses based on different things, but the level of my body doesn't say, oh, well, one's travel. Oh, the other one is the lawn's not mowed. It's stress or anxiety the same. Your body goes through some of the same highs and lows and things like that. It's how do you manage it? And what am I complaining about? Sometimes it's worth it. Like I do say that you have to, like you're saying, Lucy, you have to acknowledge what you're going through and don't diminish it. Kind of look and see why you're there. And even if we're in a good spot and we're like, oh, I shouldn't be complaining because I'm doing what I want to do. No, there's something that's triggering you to not be happy in that moment. You have to let it register and, acknowledge the existence of it. How much more time do you have?
Maybe my 5.
5 more minutes. Okay. So let me just acknowledge folks on here. Hey, Ariel. Brian responded back that you've been to Germany, England, France, Scotland, Italy, Ireland, and Canada, traveled almost every state in the USA. Wow. Okay, so you've been to places I have not been. I have not been to Germany. I have not been to Scotland yet. And I have not been to Ireland. Actually, I haven't been to Canada, which is always interesting.
Ireland is nice.
Yeah. And so, hey, Charlie. I just want to say hey to a couple people. Hey, William. Hey, Ronnie, Ultimate Research. Good afternoon, you guys. It is 3
p.m.
3 p.m. our time. Not quite sure what time it is for you guys, but we appreciate you all jumping on. Before we get too far to the end of this, tell people how to connect to you, your YouTube, social media, whatever it is that you want to share.
Yeah, it's in Portuguese, but in my Instagram, I'm trying to speak in English so then I can get both audiences. But here in YouTube is Raise Play, the name of the channel.
RAISEPLAY.
Play,
Yeah.
yeah. And in Instagram is Raise BR.
Raise
RAISEBR. So
BR. Yeah.
then it's the when I talk about English, but the traveling channel is Sob um Olhar. SOB, one numeral, okay? And so OLHOR. OAR.
We're going to type it all in the description.
Yeah, we talking.
Yeah.
SOB, one numeral, OLHAR.
Yeah. So, listen, you guys, we're gonna do a little bit more of this. We're gonna have some conversations just to talk about.
Also, type here in the comments what do you want to know about maybe Brazil, about the culture, about
Her style of traveling.
solo traveling, about hostels who are into to know about it.
Yeah.
If you feel safe or not in those kind of accommodations. About I don't know young connections. Any topic that you want, just let me know, and then we can connect. About countries, I've passed through most European countries, so on here, the north or south of Europe. I think I've been UK, Ireland, Scotland, Italy, Malta, Copenhagen, Budapest, the Balkans, all the Balkans, Albania, Macedonia, Serbia. So if you have any doubts about it, if you want to discover more about it, I don't know, financial preparation, just giving you some kind of ideas if you want to know something more.
Yeah,
Just let us know.
and it's interesting because most of the places she's been to Europe, I have not been to. And so she can share that with me, and I can share Asia and Africa and things like that. And so there's the connection. It doesn't have to be we mimic everything and every person we've met. We should, for me, it's what are you gleaning from the other person? Are you both receiving some sort of whatever energy filler that you need, right? And that's what's important. So before we go, is there anything last tips or just anything you want to share with the audience that's important to you? Maybe a daily, mantra or something that you live by.
I think the advice or the message that I would like to share with someone is the importance of goal. Like you have your motto, your mantra, really believe on this, just buy and go. But prepare yourself mentally in terms of routine. That's the point, sometimes we are just, oh, maybe this is the life is for me or not. You will never know. You will never know. What I did is I knew that I needed to go back to Brazil by the beginning of June because I have a wedding, a friend's wedding there. So I said, okay, I'm gonna do these things, and then when I go back to Brazil, maybe I will settle down. Now I'm just discovering another. So I end up enjoying, but I didn't know that I was enjoying. Yeah. This is one point, so know yourself. But in another hand, for who is listening to it, think, oh, maybe it's for me or not, or is this the only way to travel the world? No. You can have a house and travel once a year, twice a year. I think the most important is that you can have many options, but don't put yourself in a position that, oh, I cannot do this. No, this is for everybody. Maybe not in a digital nomad format, maybe not in a traveler format, but traveling itself, explore, going through another country, this is for everybody. Every kind of financial situation. Sometimes you will need to wait more or less, but yeah, prepare yourself mentally explore, get informations, and know yourself, who you are. If you didn't have anything that you have, like your material things, who are you without your things? Because this is what you're gonna transport for another country. Imagine carrying only 20 kilos. It doesn't matter how you have all your stuffs. No, you need to have you. Do you have you in your country?
Do you have you? Are you walking with you
Because
on
if you
your
are
journey?
not, learn first in your safe environment, then transport you everywhere.
Yeah. And you guys, this isn't the end. We've got some more days together. So we're actually going to share a couple more videos, like some fun stuff, really vernacular and some more cultural things that'll be really fun for you guys to kind of chime in with us on. But also, we'll talk a little bit more about just, especially if you guys leave some comments of what you want to know, just their travel journey. And if you guys like this kind of collaboration and share with people from different countries and things like that, I think Lucy would be more than willing to come back on, even when she goes her other way and I go my other way, because I will be leaving in 7 days as well. You guys stay tuned, because I'm not telling you where I'm going just yet. And she's not going straight home either. So we might have some
I still
updates,
have.
you guys. And so we definitely want to be able to share with you. Let me shout out to a few people. Hey, I don't know, Dab Danny. Thank you so much for the compliment. Welsh. Shout out to Welsh. We're gonna give you a shout out. CD, bonjour from France. We appreciate you being here. I can't read all these names, you guys. You guys have some interesting names. It's Justina, I think it says. I wonder if that's my friend Justina from Dallas. Is it? I don't know. Anyway, you guys, if I've missed you from earlier, please know that we appreciate you guys jumping on, participating in the conversation, subscribing. Make sure you subscribe to Lucy's channel's
We are
Raise
gonna keep
Play. Raise Play is on YouTube. Even if you're not speaking Portuguese, support a fellow traveler and someone who, is definitely an English speaker and is learning as she goes, but is also teaching people how to do this as well, and is very confident in her walk. So we want to continue to support those kinds of things. All right, you guys, there's so much more that we can share and so much more that we can say. All I can say is make sure you subscribe, click that like button, click that notification bell so that you know when we go live or I go live on my channel, or even you follow Lucy, same thing. And then also when we post any other videos. So the next videos that we share on the channel. Thank you for all the love, the hearts, the hundreds, the smiles. You guys are amazing. But click all that stuff so you get notified when we jump on again, so you could be the first one in the comments, finding out where we are, what we're doing, and how we're doing it. Appreciate you guys so much. You guys know the drill. I'm going to get out of here. Toodles and noodles. Peace and hair grease. This is our last goodbye, our last hurrah. Hurrah.